Good morning. Welcome to the pre-service meditation for Centers for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore. I am Eugene Holden, one of the practitioners of distinction here at CSL Greater Baltimore. and we're glad that you're here. So I'm going to ask that we start by softening your gaze. And let's take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're doing that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. And 1 more time. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And now breathing exclusively through your nose. Bring your awareness to your breath. Making sure to inhale fully and to exhale completely. Keeping the breath slow, smooth, soft, silent, and sacred. Allowing the breath to remind us that there is only this moment, the eternal moment of now. For we cannot take a breath for 3 minutes from now, nor can we take a breath for 5 minutes ago. We can only breathe in this moment. And in this moment, life is fully lived. In this moment, all needs are met. In this moment, that which I call God, the eternal universal intelligence, is. So we breathe. And with each subsequent exhale, allow the body to relax even more. Let it all go. Yes, let it go. In riding on the energy of the breath, we allow the breath to guide us into the inner sanctum, the throne room of the heart, the Holy of Holies. This is the realm of infinite possibilities, and we breathe. This is the realm of all questions answered. Whenever we need to know something, this is where we come to that heart space, to that infinite place within. And so today's question for meditation is simply, who am I? Not that lowercase I that drives the car or goes to the store, but that I that breathes the breath, that I that beats the heart, that I of the I am that was before all of life. Who am I? Breathe, be still, and know. Be still. Be still. Who am I really? Who am I really? Hmm. 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 And now, as we may have connected with the I that was before everything, Who am I? The question is now asked. How does that I, how can that I, how do I show up in the world? How may I love more? How may I shine more? How may I forgive more? Breathe, be still, and know. And be open, receptive, and available to the answers that come. And as we begin to bring ourselves back to our rooms, becoming aware of the energy within the room, the sounds, the feelings, the vibration in the rooms, we become aware of the body temple. Maybe wiggling our feet, being aware that our feet are on the floor and that our seats are in our seats. And as we become aware of this space, we are keenly aware that we can always return to the throne room of the heart simply by taking the breath. And then also remembering that it doesn't matter what others say you should be or what others may think of you. What matters is what you think about you. Who am I? You can affirm, I am the light of the world. I am grace. I am love. I am happy. I am fantastic. So for this truth, we are grateful. We are grateful. And now this concludes this morning's pre-service meditation. As always, it's an honor to be with you. Peace and abundant blessings. Thank you, Sonya.
Things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. Whoop whoop! I am Tracy Rhymes, your host. Our speaker is Spiritual Director, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Our musician is Teporah. Serving as today's practitioner who led the pre-service meditation is Eugene D. Holden. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Dresden, Lamar, and Sonya, Chavis. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you for your service. At CSLGB, every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday. So what do? You make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. They would love to, oh no, let me stop. We would love to have them hang out with us. I'm having a moment. Eugene Holden has been a student of science of mind and spirit for over 30 years and has been a licensed religious science practitioner for 15 years. For 10 years, he served the World Ministry of Prayer at Centers for Spiritual Living Home Office. Eugene also served as Home Office Liaison to the Diversity Commission, serving as the trainer and facilitator. He has been a well-loved contributor to the Science of Mind magazine for over 13 years, inspiring lives around the world. Eugene allows vision to guide him. It is prayer that fuels him. He is deeply committed to his purpose of joyfully assisting others in remembering who and what they truly are, divine beings of light. Eugene believes that together we can reveal the kingdom of heaven right here on earth. What is heaven? Heaven is ever expanding good.
Thank you, Tracy. Again, good morning. Join me in this beautiful thing that we call prayer. So this is what I know. I know that there is an infinite intelligence from which all things are created. I know that there is a power, there is a presence, there is a life that is at the very center of all of life, from the nucleus of the atom to the expansiveness of the galaxies. All there is that which I call God, the infinite intelligence that governs the universe. Now, I know and I am aware that it is called by many names. Sometimes it is called God. Sometimes it is called Allah. Sometimes it's called Krishna. Sometimes it's called Yahweh. But whatever we call it forth into our conscious awareness, recognizing that there is no place where God is not. For it is the nature of the divine to permeate, to penetrate, and to fill the interspaces of the universe, meaning that the space between the space within the space is filled with the vibration of the one power, the one presence, the one life. And so as I recognize and acknowledge the fullness, the allness, the oneness, the unity of God as being everywhere present at all times, I know that at all times God is present right where I am. No matter where I am, God is fulfilling its life in, through, and as the I am that I am. And as I know this to be the truth of my life, I know this to be the truth of each individualized expression of the one who is tuned in today. Not just tuning in to the program here, but tuned in to the vibration of the divine that beats our hearts. Come on now. And so it is from my awareness of our oneness in God that I speak this word. I bless this time together, for I know that we have come together once again by divine appointment to celebrate and to just allow ourselves to be lifted up as we open up, to be open, receptive, and available to the words that will be coming to us throughout the service. but especially through our spiritual director, the Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, who continues to stand deeply in the divinity of his being, surrendered to saying, God, use me. Use me. And so we just open up to know that we are lifted by the words that come through him, and we are lifted by the words that come through us. For we are here participating in a love affair with me, myself, and I, that we are the eye of the infinite, that we are the eye of love, that we are the eye of joy, that we are the eye of grace. And for this, I am grateful. It is from this space of gratitude and joy that I release this word now into the beautiful and dynamic activity of love and law. I know that as I release this word into the law has no other choice. It cannot help itself. It must take these words and mold them and shape them, design them, create them, and then return them unto us, not void, not empty, but absolutely and abundantly, overflowingly fulfilled. And so fulfilled, we gratefully allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Amen. Take a breath.
Religions. This honoring the world's religions. The Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's community, honors the diversity of all religions as represented by this ceremony. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Buddhism is the path of compassion and cessation of suffering. Christianity is the path of love and forgiveness. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God. Judaism is the path of living by sacred law. Indigenous spirituality is the path of honoring the earth and all life. Shintoism is the path of ritual, veneration of kami, and honoring nature. Taoism is the path of ultimate reality through balance. Unitarian Universalist is the path of social justice and sacred activism. Science of mind and spirit is the path of awakening one's spiritual magnificence in accord with love and law. The heart. The heart represents our love for and unity with all life.
It is time for announcements. Announcements. Woo-hoo! All right. Come hang out, study, and grow with the Wednesday night Science of Mind study group facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And also hang out with the Thursday night study group facilitated by practitioner Sue Monahan. Woo-hoo! Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter The CSLGB Facebook and Instagram pages. I like how that sounds. Visit cslgreaterbaltimore.org and get more news and information, including what Reverend Dr. Ray is teaching in the larger CSL community. Friendly reminder, nudge, nudge, you can share the CSLGB service link on your Facebook page. All right. Yep, go ahead and click it now. CSL Summer Movie Series. There are 11 movie lovers, speakers, and teachers who will present their interpretation of the spiritual message within a film they choose. Come with questions and curiosity. It will be a fun, insightful time for those who love movies and for those who want to understand a deeper spirituality alive in cinema. Proceeds benefit CSL's Camp Cedar Ridge. If you have fundraising ideas and want to share or be on the fundraising committee, email Rainica Permetla. The CSLGB Building Committee is seeking assistance in a variety of ways to locate the right next home for CSLGB. For more information on how you can assist, email Dana Molden, Committee Chair. dana.molden@gmail.com. At CSLGB, every Sunday is a great day to choose this as your spiritual community, your spiritual family. The first step is to take the discovery class, which is offered online and can be taken at any time. Visit the website to learn more and enroll in the discovery class. To receive an awesome daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray, type JOIN to 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspiration. You will be glad you did. Prayer works. Come on now, one more time. Prayer works. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Teporah, formerly trained in composition, piano, and songwriting at Oberlin and Peabody Conservatories, as well as in Towson State's jazz program, was raised in a musical family with an oboe-toting, guitar-picking mom and the music of the 60s and 70s to feed her soul. Woo! From Odetta to Debussy to Armenian rhythm, her music is imbued with a uniquely inspired fusion of musical influences. Teporah blends these together to breathe originality and life into her body of spiritually centered compositions and songs under the moniker Love Rising. Teporah's newest project is with a music licensing agency out of LA, where she is building a career in the TV, film, and ads world.
Hello, everybody. It is lovely to see you this beautiful Sunday morning. Tracy, I love listening to you read that. This song is called Body Beautiful, and I wrote it for an organization and a filmmaker who is doing work with documenting women who'd gone through trauma here in Baltimore, various types of trauma. And this I wrote for a woman on just learning how to celebrate and thank your body for all of the amazing manifestations it provides for our life here. Blessed be this body that is beautiful and wise. Blessed be the healing we carry inside. Blessed be the rhythms and the circles of this life. Blessed be this body that is mine. Oh, these hands that hold another, these hands that plant the seeds, making love, making music. Bless these hands that heal, oh, these hands that hold another, these hands that plant the seeds, making love and making music. Bless these hands that feed. Oh, blessed be this body that is beautiful and wise. Blessed be the healing we carry inside. Blessed be the rhythms and the circles of this life. Blessed be this body that is mine. Oh, these feet that walk the miles, 26 bones carry my life, holding me high, running free, running wild. Oh, these feet that walk the miles, 26 bones carrying my life, holding me high, running free, running wild. And blessed be this body that is beautiful and wise. Blessed be the healing we carry inside. Blessed be the rhythms and the cycles of this life. Blessed be this body that is mine. Love thyself, your body is your throne. Cast the spell, let your love light bloom. Love thyself, your body is your throne. Cast your sacred spell, let your love light bloom. 'Cause blessed be this body that is beautiful and wise. Blessed be the healing we carry inside. Blessed be the rhythms and the cycles of this life. Blessed be this body that is mine, that is mine, that is mine, that is mine. Oh, blessed be.
Thank you, Teporah. Eugene now returns to lead us in a spiritual practice.
Once again, good morning. Good morning. So, as you get, today's theme is about you, right? Me, myself, and I, or you, yourself, and you. And so today's spiritual practice is focusing on you. And the reading goes like this: the most important person you will meet on any day is the person you see in the mirror in the morning. The relationships we have with others is based on the relationships we have with ourselves. In order to truly accept others, we have to truly accept ourselves. To truly love others, we must truly love ourselves. When we ask ourselves the questions, do I love myself? And the answer is, I'm not sure. That's where we begin. You see, love begins with me, myself, and I. Not that little lowercase I. We're talking about the higher self I. That I that is directly connected to spirit, the universal intelligence that seeks fulfillment through you. There is something in you that is greater than anything outside of you. It is the I of the I am. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation upon which all other relationships are formed. Your love life begins with loving you, all of you, all of you. So begin now. Love every part of you now. Then watch how the world loves you back. Peace and abundant blessings.
I know that's right. I know that's right. I know that's right. Thank you, Eugene. Woo! Oh, yes. Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson is an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister serving the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore community as our spiritual director. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self development, personal transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration, he has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man and visionary New Thought leader who makes complex metaphysical concepts readily understandable and applicable. His mission is to live, move, and be an active member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, and emancipate people and communities to awaken and empower themselves. ACTIVE is an acronym that stands for authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, empowered. Mm. And he continues to live his bliss as a teacher, minister, author, workshop and seminar facilitator, visual artist, ASL interpreter, and ASL performing artist, mentor, father, grandfather, and more. I give you Reverend Dr. Ray.
Um, can can somebody give Tracy a mint, please? She needs more mint. Never mind. Yeah. Good morning, CSL Greater Baltimore. Good morning, peoples. How is everyone today? If you haven't shared in the chat as of yet, then feel free to do so. Let us know how you are. Since today is all about you anyway, like you just heard Eugene mention that it's about you. The pre-service meditation, it's about you. Teporah saying, I am light, it's about you. Today begins our month-long venture into this idea of relationships.
And this week specifically, our focus is the relationship we have with ourselves, how we treat ourselves, because it offers us greater insight into what it means and the practice of how we treat others and how we want others to treat us. Keep in mind, slight sidebar, there's the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And then there's the platinum rule: do unto others as they want done unto them. Because see, that elevates us to a new level of empathy. And then we could even go beyond that and say, do unto others by recognizing the truth of their being, even when they don't know the truth of their being, and treat them based upon that spiritual magnificence. Breathe. So right now we are invited into a practice that deepens our ability to self-care, self-love, recognize our inherent self-worth. And as we do that, then our spiritual practices become the way in which we live. There is no separation between who we are, what we do, how we live, because we recognize that God is the common denominator through all of that. And so we simply allow it to be what it already is. Breathe. Let us begin. All things, ourselves included, are some manifestation of it, God. Hence, all things have a direct relationship to it. And since it is all things, this relationship is direct and immediate. In other words, there is no anthropomorphic God that is separate or distant from us that we have to, hold on a second, I got to make a phone call and send a telegram in order to reach and connect with the divine. It's direct and it is immediate, right here and right now. As is said in the Quran, it's closer than your very neck vein. It is closer than breathing. It is closer than your skin. It's all of it and more. Direct and immediate, and you are it. So Eugene started us off, with this pondering. Who are you? If someone asked you, who are you? Well, first thing you might say is, hi, I'm Ray. I'm Ray Anderson. No, man, that is your name. Because a rose by any other name would still be. So I today, I'm changing your name. What did you say? Ray, today I am naming you Tracy. Yes, there will be two of you in the house. Matter of fact, I'm making her Ray and you Trey. But that's not who I am. Hey, we're not getting into that. That is what I am calling you. See, it's easy to get stuck into the names and the labels and fall down the rabbit hole thinking that's who we are versus what we are called, versus what we experience, versus where we live, versus the amount of money that we have in a bank account, versus marital status or single status or any. See, it's easy to think that those things determine and quantify and qualify who we are, but they don't. So let's ask the question again. Who are you? Pause and breathe. Whatever the answer is, how do you know? How do you know who you are? Once again, not what you're called. I mean, we could start there because those may be the things that are easiest to identify. Who are you? Ray Anderson. Well, how do you know that? Well, it's because of what my parents and my family called me. It's on my birth certificate. Okay, cool. Move that out of the way. Now, who are you? I'm African American, cisgender male. Okay, how do you know? Well, because science and medicine says this, that, and the other, and sociology. Okay, move that out of the way. Now, who are you? Like, keep venturing into until you get to the absolute. Because see, all of these other things, your name, your age, all will change. They are, quote unquote, they are temporary. But there is that part of who you are that is infinite and eternal. Breathe, because we're going to get into that a little bit later. Pause. See, it's easy sometimes to get lost in the situational need to pray, the situational need for therapy, the situational need for self-care. See, it's easy to need these things or want these things when something is going awry. Ernest Wood says, the foot feels the foot when it feels the ground. Now, let's pause and say, well, what does the foot feel when there is no ground for the foot to feel? Well, based on this, the foot doesn't feel the foot. The foot doesn't know it's a foot until it has the impact of the ground. Oh, that's the ground. I'm a foot. Oh. But what happens when the foot knows it's a foot, whether there's ground or not, whether it's paddling in the water or not, whether it's fluttering in the air as it's skydiving? What if the foot knows it's a foot no matter what? This is one of the reasons why at the end of service, I always say, don't simply wait for prayer from the practitioners when your life is not going as you desire. When your life is going well, when you feel good, you feel happy, you feel prosperous, pray. Engage in your spiritual practice at all times, because there is no separation between it and you. Because there is no separation between God and you. But see, when well, Reverend Ray, I didn't do my spiritual practice for the last 3 days, but today I lost my job, so I felt the need to reach out for prayer. Okay, I got you, but it's situational. Why are you waiting until, rather than I'm recognizing that who I am is prayer. What I am is the divine. And because that is what I am, it's how I show up. Meaning, I understand that my thoughts are prayers. Meaning, I understand that my words are prayers. Meaning, I understand that the manner in which I show up in the world is my prayer. I am a prayer evoking and invoking itself into life. I pray at all times, through all things, all situations. I don't need the ground to remind me, to remind my feet that they are feet. Breathe. Is that who you are? Is that who you are? And if so, how do you know? Okay, so here's one of my favorite things in the world. These are a few of my favorite. Okay, sorry. Ooh. Chocolate cake. That is what this is, right? Like, I'm checking. Is this what this is? Tracy, is this chocolate cake? Okay. Now, the question would be, how do you know, right? How do we know that this is chocolate cake? Now, granted, it's a photo of chocolate cake, but how do we know that it's chocolate cake? There are certain things that are evidenced that give us the clues. We don't need to smell it. We don't need to taste it. We can see it and recognize. Now, on a deeper level, suppose we want to dive in. Well, then, yes, we see that there are ingredients that go into making a chocolate cake a chocolate cake. Well, if I were to ask, then, based on this evidence, if I were to ask, what are your ingredients? See, when we go into the labels and all of those things, it's easy to get stuck on the faces that we present to the world. There's my practitioner face. There's my I'm an artist face. There's I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I'm a brother. I'm a this and I'm a that. And watch it, because there are some of those faces that others may call that. Right? It's easy to be nestled within and dig through to find, well, which one is the real me? Which one is the real me? Which one is the real me? Well, let's look at our ingredients. What are the ingredients that make you who you present to the world? Because eventually, at some point, all of the ingredients that go into that chocolate cake, because Eugene mentioned this, all of the ingredients that go into that chocolate cake, if you go far enough back, deep enough in, then you get to molecules, electrons, protons, you get to energy. And energy is beyond flavor, it's beyond color. Energy is the divine. Now, how it expresses shows up as these various ingredients, right? My family heritage, ingredient. Sexual orientation, an ingredient. All of these other things, interests, hobbies, ingredients. And yet, go far enough back. And what we find is one, infinite power, one, infinite presence, the isness that is all there is. But once again, am I living my life? Are you living your life based upon that realization? Or are you entering into your life? Masks are required. By mandate of culture and society, masks are required. We must wear our masks. We must enter into culture and society and never show people who we really are. Like the old commercial way back in the day, never let them see you sweat. Never let them see the real you. Hide behind masks, behind masks, behind masks to protect yourself. But sometimes we get so inundated with the masks that we believe the mask to be the truth of who and what we are. And in order to truly step into this new elevated way of living truthfully, then it must be a mask-free zone, a mask-free life, a life where you are truly ready, willing, and able to show your face. And not just quote unquote your face, but the face of God, because that is your face. Your face is the face of the divine. So, how are you faithfully acting, consciousness expressing, or better yet, how are you fully acting, consciousness expressing and exposing the truth of itself through this thing called life? Are you willing to take off whatever you need to take off? Grudges, guilt, shame, false identity, to allow faith, the truth of your being, to fully act in your life, as your life, through your life, in every aspect and every corner, because there's not a spot where God is not. So God is in your bank account. God is your bank account. God is in your bedroom because God is your bedroom. God is in the closet. God is in the kitchen. God is in the bathroom. There is nowhere that you could ever go. There is no hiding behind that you get away from God. And they covered themselves in leaves. And the Spirit of God said, hey, yo, what y'all doing? Y'all trying to hide from me. This ain't hide and go seek. I know where you are because I am what you are. There is nowhere that you could ever go where I am not. So remove the leaves, remove the masks, remove the shame, remove the guilt, remove the lies of whatever we have believed about ourselves, and truthfully, audaciously live our lives. Breathe. If I were to ask you at the moment of your birth, where were you before? Where were you before you showed up in the form that you are? And in like manner, if I were to ask you, well, there will come a time, where are you going after? See, the truth of the matter is, there is no before or after. Because on a certain level, that implies that, well, there was God, and then and that's it. Doesn't work that way. There is only God. There is only energy. There is only the divine. So where you came from, God. Where are you now, God? Where are you going, God? It's all that matters. Recognizing that this infinite power and presence that is life itself, there is only one life, and that life is God. And that life is infinite, eternal, and ever expanding. That life is love itself, and that life is your life now. Breathe. So in the Japanese tradition of, it's also in the Chinese tradition, but the Japanese word for it is koan. There are these puzzles or riddles that have no answers. And there is a koan that says, show me your original face before you were born. With a variation that says, without thinking of good or evil, show me your original face before your mother and father were born. Say what now? Show you what? You mean my baby picture? Because that baby picture was after you were born. Show me your original face before you. Show me the truth of who and what you are. Breathe. Because see, sometimes we spend a lot of time trying to prove that to people. Just be. There is no need to prove yourself. There is no need to prove yourself. Your life is proof enough. The manner in which you live life is proof enough. Live it powerfully, presently, purposefully, audaciously, and unapologetically, and that is enough. In the text, can we talk to God? I believe in a direct communication between the spirit and the individual. The universal spirit personifying itself through each and all. This is a beautiful, logical, and unavoidable conclusion. Direct communication between God, the absolute, and the individual, you, also God. God communicating with itself. Beautiful, logical, and unavoidable. Breathe. So, your own self is the ultimate teacher, according to Nisargadatta Maharaj. Your own self is the ultimate teacher. The outer teacher is merely a milestone. It is only your inner teacher that will walk with you to the goal, for it is the goal. The walking and the goal are one. Breathe. See, in Science of Mind, we say this exact same thing in another way. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone, and that everyone may become a revealer of truth when we live in close contact with that indwelling, all-dwelling God. When we know who and what we are, direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature. Breathe, because that's available to you right now. Breathe. In an issue of Science of Mind magazine, it said, our three greatest needs are to feel that we are needed, wanted, and loved. Now, pause, because if this in fact is true, This is what is operating everything in the collective consciousness, even greed, because somehow someone identifies greed with one of these: needed, wanted, and loved. Money will make me needed. Money makes me wanted. When I have money, I will get love. See there, but that's a misguided, malaligned understanding of it. But nonetheless, these needs are what drive us to do what we do. But when we know who and what we are, then these needs truly, truly are resolved, are answered, are satisfied, because we are no longer, where, oh, where are my needs, wants, and love? Oh, where could they be? Like, we're no longer looking for them outside of ourselves, because we find them right where we are, because we understand, what could I need, want, or seek love for when I am love made flesh? When I am the absolute and infinite that creates stars and roses. It's what I am. It's what I am. And when I am anchored and grounded in that, then I engage in the creative process. And what is outside of me now must match what is already inside of me. As above, so below. As within, so without. To feel that we are needed, wanted, and loved. To feel that we belong to the universe in which we live. This is also a demonstration of what it means to be in beloved community that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about. Because when you are in community, like-minded community, then when you occasionally forget who and what you are, the community reminds you. We remind each other. Where two and more are gathered, the nature of spirit must be in the midst. We remind each other. We nurture each other. And as Eartha Kitt says, it's all about falling in love with yourself and sharing that love with someone who appreciates you, rather than looking for love to somehow compensate for a self-love deficit. There can be no deficit in God. Spirit has no deficit. There is only from the infinite overflow. And so when you fall into love with yourself, when you are love itself as you, and you share that, you become contagious with that, then your external life must shift, change, and evolve as well. Because if we don't do it for ourselves, as Carl Jung says, the world will ask you who you are. And if you don't know, then the world will tell you. Now, we've seen this happen time and time and time again throughout history. Even when people knew who they were, the world, culture, and society, systemic racism, the toxic patriarchy has tried to tell people of color who you are, who we are. Culture and society of a toxic heteronormativity has attempted to tell the LGBTQ community who we are. Tell women who you are. Tell people of various religious backgrounds, Islamophobia, who you are, etc., and etc. But when we know, and I mean truly know, when we know and live from that knowing, then there is nothing that collective consciousness could ever say or do that will ultimately shape or shift our lived reality. Yeah, it may oppress for a time. Supreme Court may for a time show up as, but when we know and when the collective knows, then that collective demonstrates from the energy of the infinite I am. And the lies The disharmony, the dis-ease must be eradicated. Breathe. Do not allow the world, do not allow others, do not allow family, do not allow any religion or minister or anyone to tell you that you are somehow less than, undeserving of, because you're a woman, because you're Black, because you're gay, because you don't speak English. Never. Right here and right now, recognize the truth of your being. You are that infinite I am expressing. And that's what matters most. Know it. Brene Brown says, I now see how owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we will ever do. Owning your story, owning the truth of your being, standing in through and as that, even when the naysayers will, you're what? But you're not all that. Say what now? You're in a cult. You're crazy. You're that. You're this. We're passing laws that say, we're passing legislation that says, the bravest thing we could ever do is to own our own story and live that story loud and proud. Breathe. Keep in mind, part of owning that story is recognizing that you are not from a dollar menu. You do not practice a dollar menu spiritual practice. You are not a dollar menu dining. You do not frequent a dollar menu facility. You are not that. Now, when I say that, what I'm saying is there are times that we allow the mask, we allow the lies to convince us that we are worthy of less to such a degree that we then give less. When I don't love myself, then how can I love another? Like RuPaul says, if you don't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? If I don't recognize who and what I truly am, then what I am giving is $1 worth of forgiveness. What I feel that I deserve is $1 worth of forgiveness. Versus recognizing that you are the infinite incarnating, expressing and living this life as you. Love yourself and live knowing that you are a 5-star Michelin rated divine presence. Now, the Michelin rating of restaurants only goes up to 3. You're 5. You are even beyond what culture and society even recognize as possible. You are that exquisite, pristine power and presence living itself as you, breathing itself as you, moving through life as you. Recognize your own divine beauty. So who are you? Having gone through all of this, we revisit, who are you and how do you know? Knowing who you are changes how you are, changes what you do. So once again, who are you? You are holy, holy oneness. You are. You are completely the absolute holy expression of oneness. That is the truth of your being. That's who you are. That's what you are. Now, what do you do with it? Reverend Ray says, awakening to the fullness of your true self and living from this awareness is possible without the need for struggle, suffering, or the world to be on fire. Contrast in and of itself is not something to avoid or heal. Each day we are invited to be more effective. We are invited into a more effective method of self-awareness that includes our self-worth, our self-esteem, our self-respect, and self-expression as the divine. Breathe. This week's practice, should you be willing. Journal about it, pray about it, contemplate it. What are 3 things that I do not like about myself that I also try to keep others from knowing or seeing about me? What might change in my life if I stopped hiding these things from others? When I talk to myself about myself, what kinds of things do I tend to say? Are they more life-affirming or life-denying? Are they blessings or curses? Do they inspire or do they depress? What is one that I choose to select and begin this week to eliminate, to heal altogether, or to shift and make it a more empowering declaration of the truth that I choose to know and speak about myself? And then lastly, have a conversation with 4 people and share, how does my relationship with myself impact those who are closest to me? Where do I see my self-judgments, self-criticisms, shame, guilt, etc., having an effect on them? Where do I see my self-empowered, self-loving, and authentic inspirations also affecting them? Breathe. We do not live in a vacuum. God is all there is. This week's affirmation and declaration, I will say it first. If you feel in alignment with it, then declare it with me on our second time around. The universe, loving itself, is expressed in my self-love. Together. The universe, loving itself, is expressed in my self-love. Breathe that in. Breathe that in as we prepare our hearts and our minds and our very energetic fields for an expression of self-love. As our beloved Teporah comes back to pour on us this gift of music, this gift of her beauty, this gift of her power and presence that she offers through God as music. Gratitude, much love and appreciation, Teporah.
Thank you. That was amazing. I love this song, and the version I have is transcribed by Rhonda Robinson, who many of you know and love. So she's here with us, and you can sing along from your pajamas or wherever you are. So it's I love myself so much. It's an agape chant. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me.
Amen and hallelujah. Yes, yes. I love myself so much. I love myself so much, which gives me the ability to love you so much. And I love you so much to overflow that you, like Dana said in the chat, where is it? Where is it? The world cannot tell me who I am. I pray that everyone gets to this place in their lives, gets to this place of recognizing love and power in their lives. I love me so much that I love you so much that you catch that fire so much and you know it for yourself. And then you, like me, spread it. Breathe. Yes. Thank you, Teporah. Amen, amen, and amen. Breathe. So at this time of service, we anchor and ground into the spiritual practice of the law of circulation, tithing, donating, giving where we are spiritually fed, and as Tracy always reminds us, giving to the 501c3, which is a business, so that the lights can stay on, so that the perfect and right property that Dana and the search committee, quote unquote, have found, we understand and recognize that it already exists in the mind of God. So we affirm it as already being done, so that the mortgage for this right and perfect space is like we are a multi-million-dollar organization and spiritual community. Breathe, 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 because that's how we show up in the world. So if you are new, you may not know that the practitioners of distinction at CSL Greater Baltimore, on top of their regularly scheduled monthly tithes, have pledged an additional $50,000. As of 6/27/2022, that number is $15,425. The community's matching pledge as well, on top of their regularly scheduled monthly tithes. As of the same June date, that number is $2,775. Again, if you are new, you may not know, well, Reverend Ray, how do I tithe to the community? How do I donate? How do I help keep the lights on and purchase this right and perfect building so that we can meet in person? You have 4 ways: PayPal, Givelify, text messaging, and the postal mail service. If you ever have questions about any of these, or questions about how you can divide a certain portion of your tithe to compassionate care or education or the new building fund, feel free to reach out to our treasurer, Sue Monahan, or any of the board of trustees. Like, feel free to reach out and ask questions. And I think I'm going to even switch from the postal mail service, because I usually send a check. I think I'm going to switch over to Givelify. I think Frank has convinced me that that may, okay, anyhow, and feel free to visit the website. CS, hey, I'm talking, Tracy. CSLGreaterBaltimore.com/give for more information. Here at CSL Greater Baltimore, a community of distinction where we recognize that this declaration of financial wealth and abundance is actually declaring wealth, abundance, prosperity, and opulence for our health and well-being, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in our relationships, our love lives, our creativity, our ability to self-care and relax. Like, we recognize that in saying this, in declaring this, we are declaring the truth about all aspects of our lives. If you are ready and this feels in alignment with you, then let us declare together. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing, not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Breathe. Breathe and be grateful for yourself. Breathe and know that you are awesome. Breathe and know that you are the infinite, living, moving, and having its beingness as you. Breathe. We are grateful for you. We are grateful for how you show up. We are grateful for your participation. We are grateful for all of the magnificence that you are. Thank you. Now, after service today, if you go over to the Zoom room, Eugene will be over there ready to pray you up. And remember what I said earlier. Don't just wait for stuff to be like, hey, Eugene, my foot knows it's a foot because it feels the ground. I mean, if that is the case, then fine, ask for prayer. But if your feet happen to be not hitting the ground, let Eugene know the truth about you. I am good. I am God. I am glorious. I am grateful right here and right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, at a what? At about a 9. Then let Eugene upgrade that to a 12. Join us over in the Zoom room. If you want to know how to do that, go over to the website, cslgreaterbaltimore.com. Scroll down a little bit and you'll see the link. Breathe. Today is also Visioning Sunday. Now, today is a special visioning because today, the beginning of July, marks CSL Greater Baltimore's 5th year of being a beloved community. We are now entering into year number 5 of what it means to be CSL Greater Baltimore. How great it is to know all of the great things that we are becoming, that we already are, and that the infinite is ever becoming more and more. This is an amazing opportunity for the community to come together with Eugene at the helm to start us off at the beginning of this year, year number 5, visioning for the next 5 years, for the next 55 years, visioning for what this community is already in the mind that is God. Breathe. Also, we are cutting down on visioning to once every quarter. So this is your opportunity before we get to October. So gather together after fellowship today, also in the Zoom room, for this amazing opportunity to engage with like-minded individuals of your beloved community, anchoring and grounding in spiritual principle to know the truth for, of, and about God showing up as this community. Breathe. We anchor and ground in this breath, recognizing all that there is God, love, joy, faith, faithing itself into existence. Breathe, knowing that that which it is, it's right here. It's what I am. It's what each of us is, because it's all there is. God, Godding itself. The one mind thinking itself. The one life living itself. This breath, Ruach Elohim, the breath of God breathing itself. And so as this thing called service comes to an end, that which is God ever acting upon itself is forever and ever and ever, infinite, expanding consciousness, always. And so how we show up as service, in service to one another, to life, to God. As we show up as the very hands and feet, the very bodies of spiritual activism, bringing equity and justice to women, people of color, to the LGBTQ community, to children, and more and more and more. That which is God, that which is love, that which is the infinite self expressing itself in, through, and as us, right here, right now, and forevermore. The law says yes. which means it's already done. It's already answered prayer. It's already in the one mind. That means I step back and surrender and marvel at the magnificent way that the universe demonstrates these words, demonstrates from the opening meditation, demonstrates through the music, demonstrates through the hands of the interpreters, demonstrates through Tracy and her hosting and her comedy and all and every aspect and every individual who is watching now, whenever that now may be. The law says yes, it's answered prayer, it's spectacular, and it is happening right now. And so it is. Namaste, blessings, much love and appreciation. See you in Zoom.